Hi there, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. This week marked an anniversary of one of my favorite Paul McCartney albums, and it's called Flowers in the Dirt. It was released June 5th, 1989, so it's 35 years old. At this point, in the 80s, John Lennon first did like a semi retirement. Then, unfortunately, he was murdered. George Harrison wasn't consistent in his music career at that point. Ringo Starr wasn't really doing much in his music. The sales weren't there. Paul McCartney every 2 years kind of had an album out, had a hit here and there. But it was basically, I think, around 84 to 86 where, Give My Regards to Broad Street and Press to Play really showed McCartney needed a tweaking. And while most fans think that it was 1997's Flaming Pie that was the album that turned things around for him, I'm gonna dispute it and say his first real major, I think, comeback, where he kind of took himself serious again and says like, I got to get back on track, is this album. There was a 3 year wait. I think it's one of the longest between albums for him. He had a whole slew of producers, including David Foster, and one guy called Elvis Costello, who became a collaborator on with him and kind of really pushed him. He brought him to get his Hofner bass back into use. We haven't heard that in years. There was that duality in the songwriting, like back again with the Beatles, with John and Paul. With Paul is the positive guy, John is the negative kind of guy, or the questioning everything, or questioning the sincerity of everything. Elvis Costello. So there was that dynamic again, which was very, very welcome by the fans, I think, and by me personally. The album, my only issue with the album, there's one song on here that I think is god awful, and I don't know why it's on there. It's called Où est le soleil? It's like this dance, like temporary secretary from him, but all he says is Où est le soleil dans ma tête, over and over. It's just, I think that's horrible. I don't know why that's on there, but never liked it. And it's a little overproduced now. It's a product of its time, but the songs are great. He's looking for more ambitious at times ideas, but then it also goes back to his love of Linda. There's We Got Married, this one, great stuff on here. This is McCartney. It's a little bit more. There's a tinge of the Beatlesque sound on there. You can hear it. There's that playful side to it. I liked almost all the songs. My Brave Face, great song. Rough Ride is underrated. I love that song. You Want Her Too is a great song with him and Elvis Costello. That has that John Lennon, Paul McCartney back and forth thing going on. Distractions is nice. We Got Married. Like Put It There is a beautiful acoustic number. Figure of Eight is one of my favorites. This one is a great song. That Day Is Done is another one of my favorites. The only one I don't really like, I said, is Où est le soleil. And at times I don't like Motor of Love. But overall, great album. This is, I think, where he kind of, the initial of getting the Macca back that we know, the Paul McCartney, is on this album. I know Flaming Pie is one of my favorites, and I thought that was where he kind of really, it's a continuous um, bunch of albums from that point on that have great quality. But this was the first, I think, comeback album for him per se, a real comeback, where he kind of got himself together, took his time to make an album. Like usually the Spirit went out every 2 years easily, and the quality was up and down. And like I said, Give My Regards to Broad Street and Press to Play are questionable. There's a couple nice tracks here and there, but you kind of go, oh, maybe he's running out of steam here. And this is one where he kind of went, no. Was it a mega seller for him? No, it sold like 500,000 in the States. It went gold. But I think over the years, it's found a following. And I know more and more people keep mentioning this album now. And I go, well, when it originally came out, I loved it. I picked it up then. And I was hoping to see him on tour. He was coming to Montreal and canceled the show at the Olympic Stadium. I was devastated, but I got to see him years later and made up for it. So if you're looking for an album, and everybody says, start a Flaming Pie for his later day career, I recommend this one. I think it has a lot to offer. Bigger ideas, a little bit tinge of the Beatles kind of sound on there. And again, Elvis Costello is a great collaborator with him, and I think hopefully they do something again together. That would be great. Underrated album in my opinion. Should have done a lot more in sales, but You know, but what is it is. But I think over the years, I think even he realized it because he re-released it with his archive collection a few years ago. I picked it up because my CD got destroyed. I played that like millions of times and it's scratched to all heck. So a lot of songs skip. So I had to pick this up. I had no choice. But I'm glad it's a nice little package. I think it's great. You get some more demos with Costello and McCartney on here. So if you do find this one lying around somewhere, I recommend you pick this one up or listen to it on your streaming services. You can't go wrong. I think it's an underrated gem in his collection. Happy 35th anniversary of the Flowers in the Dirt. I'll post a song or two down below. You let me know what you think. Do you have it? Did you ever hear about it? Do you think this is where he got his spark back? I think this is the album that got his spark back. He did get it back in Flaming Pie, but this is, I think, is the first one that really kind of recalibrates McCartney into saying, "Hey, man, I am Paul freaking McCartney, and you know it's time to release something out there that reminds you of what I am." You know, but that's me. You let me know what you think. Like I said, I'll post some stuff down below. Share your thoughts with us. This is Steven wishing Flowers in the Dirt a happy 35th anniversary. See you soon.